And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday. It's the 27th of November, 2020. 1910, on this day, Pennsylvania Station in New York City opened. Beautiful example of Beaux-Arts architecture, pink granite, stately columns, skylit interior modeled after a Roman bath, the waiting room a block and a half long, 150-foot high ceilings. The great building was torn down in 1963 and replaced with a basement, which one architectural writer recently called an architectural crime scene. Outside of the U.S. penitentiary system, he said, it is hard to think of a more joyless building. But the destruction of Penn Station helped to start the architectural preservation movement in this country. The New York Landmarks Law was passed 2 years after that, just in time to save Grand Central Station, Radio City Music Hall, and many other historical landmarks. And ugly though it be, Penn Station today is the busiest train station in the Western Hemisphere. It was on this day in 1582 William Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway. She was 26 years old, 8 years older than he, considered an old maid by 16th century standards. She gave birth to their first child, Susanna, 6 months after the wedding. They lived together with Shakespeare's parents, and 2 years later, she gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, Hamnet and Judith. And sometime after the twins were born, Shakespeare moved to London to pursue an acting career. He came back to Stratford occasionally. She never visited him in London, so they spent most of the rest of their marriage apart. But he moved back when he retired, and they spent the last 6 years of his life together. And she's buried next to him in the Church of the Holy Trinity in Stratford. And it's the birthday of the writer who said, "A little bit of too much is just enough for me." James Agee, born Knoxville, 1909. Author, along with the photographer Walker Evans, of the book Let Us Now Praise Famous Men, and of the autobiographical novel A Death in the Family, which came out after James Agee's death at the age of 45. Here's a poem by William Wordsworth, The Tables Turned. Up, up, my friend, and quit your books, or surely you'll grow double. Up, up, my friend, and clear your looks. Why all this toil and trouble? The sun above the mountain's head, a freshening lustre mellow, through all the long green fields has spread his first sweet evening yellow. Books! 'Tis a dull and endless strife. Come, hear the woodland linnet, how sweet his music. On my life there's more of wisdom in it. And hark how blithe the throstle sings. He too is no mean preacher. Come forth into the light of things. Let nature be your teacher. She has a world of ready wealth, our minds and hearts to bless, spontaneous wisdom breathed by health, truth breathed by cheerfulness. One impulse from a vernal wood may teach you more of man, of moral evil and of good, than all the sages can. Sweet is the lore which nature brings our meddling intellect, misshapes the beauteous forms of things we murder to dissect. Enough of science and of art. Close up those barren leaves. Come forth and bring with you a heart that watches and receives. William Wordsworth, The Tables Turned. That's the Writer's Almanac for Friday, November the 27th, funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.